Hey guys, how's it going? I'm pre-recording this video because um I need to keep making videos because I want my channel to grow and boom, and I want to see those hundreds of dollars come in. So that's why this is what motivates me to make video, to grow my YouTube channel and to generate all that revenue. So that's why I'm always thinking of how can I make my next content, how can I make my next video. So I was watching through an old Midas Letter video, and I was watching through a Cam Batley video after like watching it 5 times already. And I wanted to highlight out some points when I think next week's gonna be a very exciting week. So I will play the video and I'll show you guys exactly why and what happened, and yeah, let's begin. So these are my markers. I recorded them to make sure that I can just click to that area that I want to talk about. Let's begin.
Very, very clever. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this Lithuanian organic hemp company, because that seems like quite a big deal, even though people think Lithuania and they think, where is that exactly? Is that part of Russia? You know.
Well, of course it is. It's one of the former Soviet republics, but of course now it's part of the European Union, and it's a lovely market, very well managed, very stable, and AgriPro is the largest organic hemp company in Europe. And as you know, hemp is a huge part of our story. So we're called Aurora Cannabis, but we're involved in every aspect of this plant, and a major commitment to hemp via our majority ownership of HempCo in Canada. There's a hemp element to our ICC acquisition as well. And we're interested in hemp for all of the reasons you might imagine. It's not just as a low-cost source of organic CBD. That's one of the pieces. There's also a lot more that you can do with that plant, including making building materials out of it. You can actually build homes out of hemp. And perhaps the largest opportunity of all is hemp as a source of non-animal protein. And the demand for protein from non-animal sources is exploding around the world, particularly in Asia. So we like the hemp business on its own, separate, completely separate from cannabis, but it's part of our overall integrated business strategy.
Right. So
Okay, you guys heard that? Basically, he's saying that hemp is going to be a big part of their story. Like, think about it. If Aurora was to use hemp to make building materials, that's a market by itself. Food, edibles, that's another market for itself. I mean, you can, and then the CBD stuff from hemp. So Aurora can tap the hemp market and make so much business models off the hemp market. I think they can make makeup out of the hemp market. So there's just so much opportunity using hemp. So that's a big market. That's the reason why I think Aurora deserves at least $100 billion market cap. Not now, but let's say in 2 years from now, I can definitely see Aurora deserving at least $100 billion market cap. I think that would be fair value for Aurora company in 2 years, especially if they are the #1 global player. That would absolutely be fair. And there was talks of there are going to be multiple marijuana companies in the future, like 2 or 3 marijuana companies going to have at least $100 billion market cap. Some of the articles that I read through the internet. So I just want to point out hemp is going to be big part of the reason why these cannabis companies are going to be worth $100 billion in the future. There's so much more. There's like the cannabis side, there's the medical side, there's like different methods of taking cannabis. There's just so much value in cannabis and hemp. So that's, I just wanted to point that out. Let's go to the next one.
what do you make of the rumor mill? And there's this continuous conjecture and speculation on who's going to buy whom next.
Well, you can understand where it comes from, right?
Well, absolutely.
Constellation has been pulling this sector along with their major move in with Canopy, and it's logical that the next largest players would be considered likely partners for major outside companies. But the big story here is that this is exactly what we said would happen. We've been saying for a long time that Canada is the leader in cannabis, first medical, now consumer, and now global. And that's proof right there. The big companies in the mature industries, all the usual suspects, are coming and talking to the market leaders in the Canadian cannabis sector in order to create the global cannabis sector. That's a very, very exciting development.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Canada's role?
Okay, so you heard that too, right? I think the main reason why all these stocks are kind of rallying, why the cannabis stocks are rallying, is because there's a lot of players talking to cannabis industries. So basically, if you put your money in a big LP like Afria, or maybe even a small LP like American might get a deal down the road. Who knows? Because there's a lot of big companies talking to big established companies talking to the cannabis industry in Canada, because Canada is the leader in the cannabis industry, and these big companies want to take a position in the cannabis industry before they miss out on an opportunity to make a lot of money. And that's the reason why Aurora, that's why Coke's talking to Aurora, because Aurora is the best. And okay, that's a little cocky and some people don't like that, but in my opinion though, like if I compare business to business between Canopy and Aurora, Canopy has they buy out old buildings, they buy out old greenhouses, and they retrofit them for growing cannabis, while Aurora is taking the route where they built their facility from the ground up for the purpose of only growing cannabis. And Metroleaf has the same concept, and also Canamed. Canamed is also the same concept too. They built their facility specifically for the purpose of growing cannabis. Same with Metroleaf, same with Aurora. That's why Aurora wanted to acquire Metroleaf and Canamed, because they follow the same methods. So that's just my opinion. I mean, some people can come out and argue that Canopy is better, but I honestly believe, I'm not talking about the stock. I'm talking about the business model. Aurora, I think, has a better business model than Canopy. That's why Coke wants to talk to Aurora, because in theory, Aurora should be the number one. They took the long route, but it's definitely paying off right now. Canopy was very aggressive at the beginning, and they just acquired buildings and they acquired companies at the early stages when things were cheap, and it kind of paid off now. And then the whole fact that they got a big deal Constellation brand, which is kudos for them, because that was huge. That made all these other big companies look into the cannabis space more seriously. And yeah, so that's just my opinion. Let's go on to the next part.
Comprehensive nature of our business strategy. And what we're going to see is other companies have had their innings in recent weeks. You will see us have our innings as well, because we're at a very, very exciting point where our production is starting to ramp up very, very rapidly. We're going to be at full capacity at Aurora Sky in January. By the beginning of next year, we're going to be producing on the order of 160,000 kilograms a year on an annual run rate. And then adding to that once Aurora Sun comes online in Medicine Hat, and then adding to that when Aurora Nordic comes online. So we're headed by the beginning of 2020 towards about 500,000 kilograms, or 500 million grams of production. At the same time, we're going to have our U.S. listing. At the same time, we're advancing the science of cannabis in ways that I don't think anybody else is doing. So this is going to be a very, very exciting fall for Aurora.
Right.
After this video was made, basically Aurora went from $8 to $12. But you gotta be. But the only reason why is because of the Coke rumor. But you know, honestly, without a Coke rumor, Aurora stock should already be like hovering up higher, because you know it's just there's so much value in Aurora as the company. So they deserve at least a market cap on par with Canopy, in my opinion. And he says that this fall is going to be very exciting. The fall just started, and it's already getting exciting, and I don't think the excitement ended yet. No real catalyst has come out. There's going to be the New York Stock Exchange that he explained, and then they're going to ramp up full capacity to 160 kilograms by January. That's a lot of high quality cannabis products. And then there's the whole rumor of, you know, them getting acquired, or them partnering up with Coke, or, you know, another beverage company. So there's just endless possibilities for the stock price to rise, even though the stock is extremely diluted. But hey, look at Huge. Huge stock is way more diluted than Aurora. It's still rising, so I don't know. I say it's still possible for Aurora's cannabis stock to rise. Let's begin. Let's go to the next one. 1325. This is the last one. This is the best one.
Okay, so as an investor in Aurora, my biggest focus is what quarter is it that I can expect to see this revenue and margin start to ramp to a bottom line on the balance sheet?
Well, you're going to see something interesting on the 25th of September, which is when we're reporting our year end.
My mother's birthday.
Oh,
A gift for Mama.
It'll be a busy day, but I'll have to call and say happy birthday to your mom if you give me her
She'll be
coordinates.
floored.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to, on a pro forma basis, we're going to report the totality of revenues for Aurora plus Canamed plus MedRelief, even though we haven't fully consolidated MedRelief. That's going to be an initial indication of just how significant our revenues are and how quickly they're growing. Remember that we only started to sell cannabis in January of 2016. We were 18 months behind the first 13 companies to get licensed, the blessed 13, so all of the other peer companies in the sector. Actually 2 of which we've acquired. And so we've played catch up, I think, exceedingly well, and we've also done it with a very, very different concept. We haven't retrofitted old greenhouses or warehouses. We've created a purpose-built concept. So a little bit of a delay, but now it's coming online. Now is the time for Aurora to shine.
Okay, so this quarter is when we're going to see a big balance sheet?
You're going to see Aurora's revenues changing significantly.
Okay. This quarter?
Well, this reported quarter takes us to June 30th, right? That's our year end.
Okay.
The September quarter will be reporting in November, and that will show, I think, some pretty surprising and favorable results, including increasing sales in Europe, which is such a great market for us because the margins are even higher in Europe than they are in Canada.
Sure. How fast will Latin America?
So, September 25th is a Tuesday. So, like I said, next week's going to be exciting. So, on September 25th, we're guaranteed one piece of news that will be a catalyst for Aurora stock. Will be the year end for the company, which, if they can manage to pull numbers that are much better than Canopy's numbers for the year end, with, you know, Canamed and Aurora combined with MedRelief, if they can pull their year end to be better than Canopy's year end, then that just shows you how powerful Aurora, like, the company is as a whole. Because if they can report some really good numbers that beat Canopy, like if you take Canopy's year end and Aurora's year end, if Aurora is higher than Canopy, then that's a very good sign. And then in November, so a month later, in November, they're going to be reporting the Q1, and that's going to have MedRelief, that's going to have Canamed, and that's going to have Aurora. And he says that those numbers are going to be very, very, very good. So, it's hard for me to justify selling Aurora stock until until I see those like numbers in November. I mean, I see that's the problem. Like we might have a crash, a correction in October, but when November comes around, the numbers are gonna be really good. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it doesn't matter. I mean, let's say if like worst case scenario, the stock tanks on October 17th. How bad is it gonna tank? If Aurora has a Coke deal on the New York Stock Exchange, that stock is gonna rally up to $20, and then I guess if it does rally up to $20, it's probably a good time to take some profit and just don't worry about anything else, and just hope that there's a correction. But it might not rally up to $20. It might rally up to $14, $15, and then if you sell. Then what happened when you sell when it goes to $14, $15? Then it goes up to $20. Then you might be, some people hate missing out on profits when they sell out and they see. People hate missing out profit more than they hate losing money. It's kind of human nature. It's weird that way. Because they don't like taking money out and then see the stock continue to rise. So my opinion is, if you do take profit, if you do want to take profit, a good time would probably be take some profit at $14. Hold on to this. This is my opinion, not like advice to buy or do anything. This is my opinion. Something that I would do, something that I would consider doing. Take some profit at $14, $15. If it goes up higher, take out more profit. And if it goes up to $20, take out even more profit. And then wait until there has that correction, and then buy back in. This is my opinion. I don't know. Just an opinion, by the way. And I can't really sell out of my main account anyways because I don't want to pay the government taxes. So no matter what, I'm gonna be a long-term shareholder of Aurora, but I'm definitely gonna take profits on accounts where I don't get taxed on. So I like to share everything, even if I might bite me in the ass. But I really don't care. So, I honestly believe if Aurora got a deal with Coke, I'm set for life. Because I can easily see this company being $100 billion in, I don't know, like 2 years. If they get a deal with Coke, in 2 years, this company could be $100 billion market cap. That would put their stock price at $50. I'm assuming that the stock's gonna get diluted to probably 2 billion shares. If the market cap's $100 billion, then that means that the share price is gonna be around $50. I'm happy with $50. I'm static with $50. So that's why I believe if they get a Coke deal, that will probably happen. That in a matter of 2 years. So I don't know. I don't see why Coke can't go wrong investing into Aurora, because if Coke invests in Aurora and they really believe Aurora is going to be a leader, the market cap's going to be $100 billion eventually, and Coke will easily double or triple the investment that made in Aurora, even at like $14, $15. So I can't see Coke going wrong investing in Aurora. That's just my opinion. And they'll be the number one company for sure if Coke invests into Aurora, because Coke is 4 times bigger than Constellation brand. They are almost a $200 billion company, while Constellation brand's like a $50 billion company. So yeah, this is my opinion. Before I go, I guess I want to talk about so my price average for my Aurora stock, I confirmed it with my bank. It's gone down because it's trying to level itself out with the whole Australia's capital shares. They increased the price of my shares, but then they decreased my Aurora stock price shares to balance itself out. That's what my bank told me. Makes no sense to me, but whatever. I can't. It's nice to see 540%. if I sold on this account anyways, I'm not gonna get taxed. So yeah, so it doesn't really matter for me. But my main account is gonna be a bitch when I cash that out. More profit on that account. Not gonna like that one. Oh well, whatever. That's life. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. If you dislike this content, please give me a thumbs down. Subscribe for future updates and have a great day. Bye.